Hi, friends. Um, Today's a hard day. Um, I couldn't get on here yesterday. I tried so hard, but I just emotionally was not with it. My, for those who don't know, my grandma was my best friend. Um, and she was my favorite person. Like, I would do any and everything I could to spend time with her. Um, I was telling my aunt the other day, I remember being a kid and, like on a week like this for Thanksgiving, I would have it all planned out. My mom would make me do all this cleaning in the house, and I would be like, okay, I'll help clean and I'll do all of these things, but after, like, I'd be like, what days am I off of school? And she would be like, you know, the whole week or something, or sometimes it was like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday or something. And I would bargain like, okay, I'm just gonna like, I'll help you clean, and then I'll go over there on Wednesday and stay with my grandma on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday night. And my mom would be like, no, you're going to be here cleaning, and you need to help around the house or whatever. And so I would be like, okay, after Thanksgiving dinner, I'll just go home with grandma then, and then I can stay until Sunday and come home before school starts on Monday. And my mom would be like, whatever. I mean, I would wear my parents out trying to be with my grandma. Um, I'd arrange it and work it and twist it any every way that I possibly could, because being with her was like my favorite thing. Even if it meant going to work with her and cleaning and being bored and all of that stuff, I had to be with her every minute, every day. And then I got older. And, you know, in my teens, I looked at her sideways. um, I thought she was dated, old, not relevant. Like, her theories weren't today's theories. They didn't line up with what was really happening in today's world. And so I disregarded a lot of what she said to me. She's kind of preachy. My grandma was always a preachy person. Um, and I don't think that she did it trying to be preachy. I think she was more, aware of the hardships and things that she faced, and she didn't want anybody else to experience that. She wanted her life lesson to be enough for me and everybody else who she preached to. um, and I guess in the same respect, I feel the same way about a lot of things. I wish that I had done things very different. I mean, we all have the shoulda, woulda, couldas in our lives where we wish we would have done something, or I should have done this, or if given another opportunity, I, would have done this, or whatever. Um, I definitely would give my right arm to have my grandma back. um, I know that I'm doing everything I can not to cry today, but um, I know I can't bring her back, and I know that the only way I'm gonna be with her is to get I knew when she passed that I was very adamant that I needed to get my life right so that I could be with her in heaven. um, and I know several of my friends don't even believe that. They don't even believe that there's a heaven. Some people, you know, think everybody's going to heaven. We all have our different beliefs, and I respect yours. I ask that you respect mine. Um, but I don't personally believe that anybody's going to heaven unless you ask Jesus into your heart. Um, you can be as good as you want to be, but it doesn't get you into heaven. Um, and I don't want to be preachy. I've never really wanted to be a teacher or anything of that sort. That's just my belief system. That's how I believe. Um, I Today's just a heavy day for me. It's very, very heavy. Um, it doesn't feel good to know that there's a person who I would die to spend time with. And yet, when I had her, I pushed her away. And I think that that's kind of a theme to my life. It's something that I've commonly done. When I had somebody there, I pushed them away because I got complacent with them. And I think a lot of us do that. We get comfortable with the people in our world, or we think they're always going to be there, or that we can do whatever. I definitely have a few people in my world who I feel this way about. But I've really been intentional since my grandma's passed, to make sure that the people I love know that I love them. I do any and everything I can to make sure. I don't want to be the one, sending flowers to somebody's grave when I could have been spending time with them every day, you know. The people who I am close to, I think that they know that they're important to me. I have friends in Arizona, and that's the other thing. I think recently I've really kind of had to be honest with myself about that. I tend to be, well, I'm in this state, so if this is where I'm at, then these are the people that I'm around. And obviously that's easier to do when you have people near you or whatever. But this time back in Washington has been the loneliest. I've lived my whole life up and down I-5 between California and Washington, up and down, up and down, up and down, all my life. I did it, 5 years in Arizona, and I made great friends in Arizona. But this season in Washington, these last 6 years, have been the absolute loneliest 6 years of my life. And I wouldn't say that it's because my grandma's not here, it's because of whatever. And I do have friends who've been like, let's hang out, let's hang out, let's hang out. However, some of the activities that are involved in when they are hanging out are activities that don't interest me. And so if you've asked me to come and I said no, or I didn't show up, it's probably because of that. Certain things just don't entertain me anymore, and I just don't have energy to give, to waste. I don't have time to waste, and I'd rather be at home spending time with my children than wasting my time doing something I don't want to do. So that's part of the problem. The other part of the problem is it's just a lonely place for me in Washington. And I know a lot of people say, I've heard it said a lot, you're always around people, or you're always around whatever, or you're always at church. And I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, I was always at church because I didn't want to be lonely, but I was more lonely at church than I ever was this last year by myself without that church. And I know that's hard for people to swallow, but that's the truth. Church shouldn't be a lonely place. Life shouldn't be lonely. We're not meant to do life alone. And I definitely have tried to form relationships with people, and I'm not saying I don't have friends from the church or friends from wherever. I definitely do, but not on the level of friendship that I want. And I think that that's something that comes when you get older. We tend to focus more on our families and less on our friends at a certain age. We're more inclined to be with our partners instead of, hanging out with friends and things of that sort. So I get it. And many of my friends are married and not single, and there's another situation. So there's no blame being pointed here. I've been told, oh, well, you must not be trying to make friends. And that's like the stupidest thing I've ever heard, because that couldn't be furthest from it. It's so far from the truth. So far from the truth. I don't have time or energy to waste, really. And if a friendship isn't going anywhere, I'm not going to sit here and smile in your face and pretend like it is, because it's just not. And the craziest thing is that I've had some pretty amazing relationships pop up in the least expected places. And that's the weird thing. Um, I have some friends who I talk to almost every day, every other day if I'm not speaking to them and texting them. Like, I have to be in contact with them. Um, and there's like a kingdom purpose there. We have a connection where we have to be in contact with each other. And it doesn't, you probably would never suspect me hanging out with them or doing anything, with some of the people that I'm around, but I have older and younger friends who I absolutely adore. And right now everybody's away for Thanksgiving, and I'm kind of like, where's all my people? I miss my friends, but I understand that this is going to be a quiet week because everybody's doing their family thing, which is fair. But today, I'm sitting here singing the Shoulda, Woulda, Couldas, and I wish that I could be with my grandma today. I wish that more than anything. I definitely did not deserve my grandma. I did things, bad things. I had sticky fingers when I was a kid. You know what? I did whatever I could to get what I wanted because I didn't feel like anybody cared. So, I was horrible to my grandma. I know you push the people away that are closest to you, hurt the people that are closest to you the most. I definitely hurt my grandma. There were times I disappointed her and didn't make her happy. I, not innocent by any means. And I regret that. I wish that I could be perfect and, never hurt her and never given her a reason to cry, but there's something to be said about a praying grandmother or a praying mother. I know my father feels that his mom wasn't there for him the way that he wanted her to be. He wishes that she could have done more for him, treated him differently. And I was thinking about the parallelism this last week because there were seasons in my life that I needed my dad, and he wasn't there. It is what it is. We can't go back. We can't bring back yesterday. We can't hold on to anger because it doesn't do anything for us. It doesn't help us in our path or in our journey. And I see how angry my father is towards my grandmother still, that he still holds on to some anger and things he hasn't let go of. But it's interesting. I see the parallelism. I see how, she wasn't there for him in areas. He wasn't there for me in areas. And yet, my grandma was an amazing person to me. And she made sure that I knew that I was special to her, that I mattered to her. I cuddled with my grandma and snuggled up with her and loved my grandma, and I was always cuddled up with my grandma every opportunity I got. And in the same respect, my dad is that way with my girls and my son. He adores my children, would do anything for my children. And I know that. My children know that they are the apple of their grandfather's eye. They know that he adores them, like, more than anything. That they are his prized possession. And in the same way that I was my grandma's. And that's the thing. I'm sure my kids are going to come up and say the exact same thing, that I wasn't there for them. Whatever. I'm going to be a bomb grandma. Trust me. They're going to love me. I'm going to be like, oh, we're going on a trip. We'll be back. But I see the parallelism. And I hope that my dad can heal from his pain It's such a hard thing. It's almost symbolistic. I remember one day I was pregnant with my youngest, and my grandma came to me, and I was all anger still at my dad. I was all upset and heated over something that happened. And she grabbed me, and she just stood up. We were in a restaurant. She said, "Get up, stand up." And she pulled me up, and she said, I mean, like, she's shorter than me, so she couldn't get eye to eye with me, but she was locked with my eyes, and she said, "I'm sorry." And she said, "I need you just to look at me like I'm your mom and your dad. I'm going to stand in their position as your parent and apologize and give you the apology that you need to hear from your parents so that you can forgive them and move on. I'm sorry." And she just said, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry." And she just kept saying it. And I remember crying in the restaurant and just being like, "Stop, just sit down. I don't want to do this right here." And she just said, "No, you have to forgive them. And if I have to stand here and say I'm sorry a million times for them, then that's what I need to do." And that's what she did. And I know my dad probably needed that too. Um, he probably did. He probably still does. Um, but in the same way that my grandma was there for me, he's there for my kids in a way he wasn't there for me. He listens to my kids in a way he didn't listen to me. He gives them their personal life the way that he didn't. I couldn't talk to my dad. I couldn't go to my dad and say, this is a situation I have. Talking to my parents was like, no, we couldn't have a conversation because it was immediate drama and fit and rage and anger, and I couldn't. I just didn't even want to have. There was no point. So, I don't know. I think healing is a funny thing, and sometimes it's generational, and sometimes we don't get what we need from the people that we get it from, but we can get it from somebody else in a different way. Today's a heavy day for me. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. I know that I am, but I definitely think that in times of loss, grief, mourning, you hear a whole lot of shoulda, woulda, couldas. And I don't think that it's worth it to wait until somebody's deceased and no longer with us to have the conversations that we should be having when they're alive. So, yeah, it's Thanksgiving tomorrow, and I have so much to be thankful for. My heart is always heavy during this season, and I know there's so many others that have hardships during this season as well through the holidays. It's just not easy for people. And I know my grandma did not want to ruin Thanksgiving. She didn't pass on Thanksgiving. She passed the Sunday following. And she actually waited until I wasn't in the house anymore. I was trying to be there when she took her last breath, and I was determined I was going to be there, but that girl was stubborn. She was so stubborn. And she waited until about a half an hour after I left the house to pass. So she wasn't going to go with me there. And it was okay. It's okay. I don't know how I would be. I already struggle enough knowing that the last ways that I saw her were not the way I wanted to see her. So I don't want to cry, you guys. I still don't want to cry about this. Yeah. But I definitely think that it's Thanksgiving tomorrow, and we all have a million reasons to be thankful. But I think that before we go into 2020, we got to get clear, and we got to get crystal, and we got to get clear vision on what we want. This month is coming to an end, and I'm going to end my testimonies pretty soon. But I don't want you to not take the opportunity to get things right. If you have to sit down with somebody tonight or call them tonight before you meet them, see them tomorrow for Thanksgiving, do it. Just do it. Just do it. Get it off the table so that tomorrow is easy and that you can make a memory instead of having another crisis around your holiday season. Like, I can't tell you. I mean, my family has drama too, trust me. We got lots of it. The Hooks clan, Thompson clan, we're a hot mess. I'm really, it is what it is. But happy Thanksgiving. I'm going to try to get on tomorrow. I can't promise that I'm going to have something to say, but I will definitely try. Don't be like me and sing the shoulda, woulda, coulda. Just go love people today, okay? Don't wait until they're gone to miss them. Be present. Love you. Bye.